Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits, and we've got a new school year and a new studio space. And I'm so glad to have you back with me.
Happy to be back. Our third year of doing this already. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gorgeous studio to do this in this year, and I cannot wait to get started for another school year of high school sports.
That's right. And, we do have our same sponsor, though. Thank you to Sean Richards from Red Onion Burgers in Mountlake Terrace for coming back to sponsor the show. Wanted to mention, Steve, before we get too far into this, that Sean is sponsoring a fundraiser on September 5th, and that's a Tuesday, and it is to benefit the victims of Hurricane Harvey in Houston. If you dine at Red Onion Burgers or at several other restaurants in the area, and we will have those listed so you don't have to listen to us name them all. But if you dine there, they will donate a portion of the proceeds to Hurricane Harvey, and we hope that you will take advantage of that and support those folks who really do need your help. So, now we're going to talk about football.
We are. The only sport that really has gotten underway so far. I was going to say kicked off, but that sounds so cliche,
I think
right?
we've said that cliche more than
Yeah,
once.
it doesn't really, well, it does work, but we don't need to use it again. But yeah, the high school football season started last Friday. All four of our teams were in action. Good news and bad news, right? Two of the teams not picking up victories to start off their year. We'll cover them first. Linwood fell behind Ballard 26-0 at halftime. And give it up to the Royals and their players and coaches. They fought back. They fought hard. Came up just a little bit short at the end, and they lost 26-21. Meadowdale, they were over at Edmonds-Woodway on Friday night. Rough night for the Mavericks against a very good Monroe team. Monroe beat them last year in the season opener, and a lot of the Meadowdale folks are already reminding us that worked out okay. They ended up going to the state semifinals, so we'll see if they can get back on track this week. But we did have two victories this week as well. Edmonds-Woodway, the Warriors, going up against a very good Jackson team. That was the 5 o'clock game on Friday night, and they pulled off a 10-0 victory. Noah Becker rushing for a touchdown, also had over 100 yards rushing, and a defense that was just constantly holding teams under 10 points or fewer last year, getting a shutout to start the season again this year. So congratulations to the Warriors. And then, maybe the most exciting game in the area over the weekend, Mountlake Terrace had to go up to Sehome. 41-40 final score, but it was a wild game. Mountlake Terrace was up by 20 at one point in the early part of the second quarter. Sehome scores the final 27 points of the half, and they go into halftime with a 7-point lead. Mountlake Terrace comes out and they score 3 touchdowns to take a 14-point lead. Sehome then gets it within 1. They try to go in for the winning score with under a minute to go. Mountlake Terrace forces a fumble and wins the game. And so we thought we better bring a couple of the Hawks in here to talk about it. So with us this week, Keegan, Grayson, Thaddeus, Merten, two of the players on that Mountlake Terrace team that picked up a victory. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks football team is off to a 1-0 start, winning their opener 41-40 over Sehome in what was maybe the most thrilling game in the entire Western Washington area over the weekend. And with us right now, two of the stars of the game, Keegan Grayson, who is a running back, safety, kicker, punter, whatever else the team needs, and you're a senior. Thaddeus Merten, a junior, who is a guard/middle linebacker. And guys, we're just going to break down this game because it was wild. When we look at this Sehome team, it's a team that you guys beat rather handedly last year, and then you jump out to a 20-0 lead early in the second quarter. And Keegan, I've got to think at that point, you're thinking this might be an easy one, right?
Oh yeah, we were rolling at first, scored 3 quick touchdowns. We thought it was going to be another blowout again.
And Thaddeus, all of a sudden, here comes Sehome. I think they scored 4 touchdowns in about an 8-minute window there, and they take a 27-20 lead into the half. Surprised at all?
Not too much. I knew it was going to happen because that happens a lot with our teams. We get cocky or something else, and we lose our guard, and they get up, and then I was surprised we came back. Last year we won, though. But we did, and I was surprised by that.
You said last year you won them, so perhaps a character builder. This is a team that maybe is a little more experienced, Keegan?
Oh yeah, I think we have a lot more experience on the team. I think we have a lot more people who want to compete and continue to fight and win the game.
And what was the attitude like, or what was the atmosphere like in the locker room at halftime when you give up 27 straight points? Thaddeus, I know you mentioned a couple of the guys were yelling and screaming. Did that seem to help a little bit, or?
I think it did a lot. RJ definitely got team to focus in.
And RJ is who?
Our leader of the line on both sides. I think he's a guard and a defensive nose.
So you guys come out for the third quarter. You're down by 7. Keegan, you guys score 3 consecutive touchdowns to go up by 14. Do you have that mentality again of, hey, now we're in control, or were you kind of remembering back to the 20-0 lead and thinking that, hey, these guys might still have a little fight left in them?
Well, I think we did get a little cocky again, and then we kind of let our guard down a little. But after they scored those next 2 touchdowns to bring the game to 1 point, I think on that last drive we really picked it up and realized, hey, we need to stop if we're going to win this game.
Well, and you two are the heroes of that last play. So you're up by 1, 41-40, under a minute to go, 4th and goal for Sehome. I think they were on like the 5 or 6 yard line. Keegan, take me through that play. You're playing safety, and what was the conversation you had with Coach before the 4th down snap?
I looked at my coach and I told him I need a blitz. I know I can get him. And so he let me go on a blitz. I saw the quarterback look the other way. I blitzed. I hit him, made him fumble. This guy recovered, and game over.
So just like that, you guys were able to walk off the field with a 41-40 victory. And I do want to talk to each about your games a little bit. Thaddeus, I know you had recovered fumble. You forced 2 fumbles, had a monster game yourself. What was it like for you as a junior to get back out there on the field? How did you feel about your game?
It was fun. Yeah, I love football.
Get out there and hit.
Hitting people's fun.
You're happy with it. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, Keegan, what about you? You had a couple of touchdown catches. I know you ran for 40-something yards as well. How are you feeling about your senior year thus far, 1 game in?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's going to be a good year.
Okay, and now kind of looking ahead here, you've got a game against Cedar Crest coming up. Your first game at Edmonds Stadium for the season. I've got to think that, Keegan, for you being a senior, getting back to your home turf there, if you will, you guys excited about playing this Friday at home in front of your home crowd?
I'm very excited.
No traveling on this one, Thaddeus. What are the bus rides like? Did you guys enjoy going up to Bellingham this weekend? What was that like?
It was rough.
Interesting.
It was a long car ride. I had to go to the bathroom the whole way. It was
5 o'clock start, so you guys had to go up
so
early
bad.
too. Hot day.
We left at like 1:30 and got there at like 4:30.
And, well, you guys got there just before game time then.
Yeah.
And I know, Thad, talking to you a little while ago before we started rolling here, you mentioned that conditioning was an issue right now. Again, 5 p.m. start time last week. You've got another 5 p.m. game on Friday this week, followed by another one after. What are you guys doing conditioning-wise to get ready for these upcoming games?
A lot. We're doing
Is it
a lot.
sprints? Is it just a lot of jogging? What are you guys up to?
Today was a very big conditioning day for us. A lot more than we have been. It was 3 different coaches, 3 different conditioning types.
Did a lot of sprints, a lot of long distance sprints, kind of short distance sprints. We did everything really.
And really, it's when you get down to the fourth quarter in a close game, those are the moments that really kind of help you guys, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little about the offense, Keegan. We mentioned you caught 2 touchdown passes. I know Brandon Bach also caught 2 touchdowns. Jesse James Martineau, your quarterback, who got a little experience last year at the end of the year. What has it been like for him knowing that he did get some of that valuable varsity time last year? Has it kind of helped you guys build a rapport together out there during the games?
Oh yeah, I think it definitely helped. It built confidence in me with him, and it built confidence in him with me. Just having that connection with each other, knowing that I'm going to run the right route and the ball is going to be there when I cut.
Sure. Yeah. And now again, 5 o'clock Friday at home against Cedar Crest. Thaddeus, this is a team that beat you guys last year. Yeah. I'm guessing you guys haven't forgotten that.
Yeah, I hope we don't go into that game with the mindset that we did last year. We thought we were going to smash those guys and it was going to be easy. But if you go in with that mindset, then you're going in, you're going to get knocked down.
And Keegan, when I asked you about it, when the cameras weren't rolling, I said, they beat you guys last year. You immediately gave me a resounding, we haven't forgotten. I mean, you know this game's a revenge game, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what's the talk been like in the locker room? Are you guys kind of trying to bring up those memories and watch the video from last year? Or are you just talking about the feeling about losing that game? What exactly are you guys talking about right now when it comes to Cedar Crest?
We definitely still have that feeling in us. That hasn't left our mind at all. We were watching a lot of film on last year, seeing what we did right and wrong, seeing how we can improve. We watched film on their last week's game, so we kind of have an idea what they want to do and stuff. So I think we're going to prepare very well. I think we'll be ready.
Very nice. So overall, 3 wins last year. You mentioned already that this is a team that, from the mentality standpoint, maybe the psyche's different when you fall behind. Thad, you mentioned earlier in the interview here that this was a team that maybe wouldn't have come back last year. Are you guys starting to kind of feel like there's more of a cohesiveness? Are you feeling like this is a better team than maybe last year in terms of just having that mentality?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Oh, yeah. I think the mentality is much better this year.
So we will see again, 1-0 to start the season. Cedar Crest, 5 p.m., Edmonds Stadium this coming Friday night. We'll see what these guys can do and see if the Hawks can get off to a 2-0 start. Thaddeus, Merten, Keegan, Grayson, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see if the Hawks can get another victory this week.
Well, it's great the Hawks were able to pull out a victory after all that excitement.
Yeah, no kidding. I think it would have been a very long bus ride home. It was a long bus ride either way, as you can hear
sounded
from
like
Thaddeus,
it, yeah.
but it's an even longer bus ride when you lose a game like that. So nice for them to get the victory and see what they can do this week.
Yeah, and it was fun to also kind of connect the dots with, you interviewed all the football coaches before the season
we did.
started. And
Which
to
are
kind
still
of-
available on video
Yes,
if anybody wants to go back and
on
watch.
our YouTube channel. But to kind of see the predictions of what they thought about their first game and kind of how they do, and fascinating. for me.
Football's an interesting sport in that you really never know what you have until you get out there. You can try to assimilate game experiences in practice, but really for those 2 weeks, you're scrimmaging one another, you're going through your drills. Some players are better practice players than they are on game nights, and others will shock the coaches when they get there, and when the lights turn on, they tend to shine their brightest. So really for the coaches, the players, the parents, and everybody else involved with the football program at the high school level, you really never know what you have until the Friday night. And it was fun to watch all of those teams this week.
Yeah, and so what's coming up this week?
We have all 4 teams in action again this week. Edmonds-Woodway is actually playing on Thursday night this week.
Okay.
They're going to go to Kentwood. And we mentioned Edmonds-Woodway having a very stingy defense. They're going to need it this week. Kentwood put up 58 points against Glacier Peak last week.
Oh, my.
It's a good Glacier Peak team, too. So they've got their work cut out for them. So Thursday night, if anybody wants to head on down to French Field in Kent, that's where Edmonds-Woodway will be. Friday night, Meadowdale travels over to Redmond. And then we've got a doubleheader over at Edmonds Stadium. We've already talked about the Mountlake Terrace Hawks playing Cedar Crest. That's a 5 o'clock start at Edmonds Stadium. And then following that game at 8 o'clock, Marysville-Pilchuck comes in to play Linwood. So both the Hawks and the Royals playing their first home games of the year on Friday. And hopefully we'll have some nice crowds out there, and keep our fingers crossed that the weather continues to stay as nice as it is, and get to watch some more of these teams.
Very good. And other sports will start coming into play as time goes on.
Everything is getting
Did
rolling
you
this
notice
week.
I just made a joke?
You did, very nicely done.
Okay.
I like the pun there. It works. Yeah, we've got boys tennis and cross country coming up this week. All teams really in action starting on Tuesday. And then for girls, we've got soccer, swimming, volleyball, and cross country. So by this time next week, everybody will have played in matches or games or participated in their sports, and I think we'll have plenty to talk about for the next couple months.
Very good. Okay. Well, we hope you'll stay along with us all season long, all year long. We do this because we really feel strongly about giving athletes in the Edmonds School District and coaches and teams their recognition, and we will be here for you throughout the school year. So we'll see you next week.